Hey, it's Todd Ault. This is 16th of October. I keep saying October. Gosh.
I wish it was October.
I don't know why I keep saying that. Can you turn this back on for me? Hey, it's the 16th of August. It's August 16th, 2021. This is the 119th episode of Risk On. It is a brutal day for small cap, in my opinion. Now, maybe you guys have some thoughts out there that it's not as brutal as it sure feels like it is. But it is relatively brutal. I've seen some regional small cap banks. They seem to be holding up pretty well. But the rest of the thing, when I look on my list here, and I will look real quickly here. BCTX down, SSNT down, ACXP down, FRD down, HUSA, HUSA down, NAII down, AG down, Square Foot down, INN down, Robinhood down, VJet down, Game down, Chara down. I just don't. The heads or tails of the Dow being up 100. The Nasdaq at one point was down a lot further. Other than AMC, which is up, which just means it's down for me because I'm short. Clover was up a little bit. MDRR is up a little bit. Red Cat up a little bit. Alzheimer. Hey, Alzheimer had a positive day. There you go. Not much, but I guess we'll take that 2 cents for Alzheimer.
I'll take 2, 1.
Hey, Joe's in the house.
What's
He's
up, guys?
in for Jason today, who Jason is not feeling well. So we wish Jason a speedy recovery and whatever's going on with Jason. I don't have a lot of details. He just said to me, I won't see you for 2 weeks. I'm like, that's a really strange.
Odd.
Like, you have a cold for 2 weeks? Is it 2 days?
Yeah, but we love Jason.
We love Jason. So whatever he needs to do to get better, that's kind of all we care about. I know that Jason and Andrea both have a little bit of a cold or however they're feeling not well. Jason and I and Andrea and my sister-in-law did see the Eagles tribute band.
Oh, my mom went too?
Do you ever remember how many songs the Eagles have?
No.
It's got to be a lot.
Got a lot of songs.
But they're all really long.
Yeah. Joe Walsh.
I mean, what is it? It's got to be. They had like 12 or 15 albums, man. I mean, it's a lot of albums.
It was great. It was the tribute band was nice. I'm 51. I think Jason and I were taking an over-under there of the audience was maybe 57. If that was the median age, the people that were driving around in their little
what
do you call those
rascals?
carts? Rascals?
Yeah, rascals.
Those got to be in their 70s. So it was a interesting experience, to say the least. It was also interesting to see that DPW, which was $3 in the pre-market, traded down today.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I should be happy I can buy more at a cheaper price or sad that it's not higher.
I think you should right now be happy that you can buy it at a cheaper price.
Right. I'm thrilled with the company. After the call today, we're going to have a shortened meeting today, a little risk on today, because we have a conference call for DPW.
We do.
And you can be a member. You can be a member. Hey, join the member. I'm a hair club member too. I bought the company. You can be on the program today, the conference call with me, Will Horn, my business partner, and the CFO, Ken Cragen. So you could join us there. The login is on my Twitter. You can go there and be just pretty quickly, right?
They can also go to the press release.
Go to the press release that was issued last Monday.
It was.
You just click a link there, and it's a Zoom call. Joe, you have the super duper Zoom for us, right? Where we get like 5,000 people on at a time or something like that?
It's roughly 5,000. I mean, we can up and down it, but I mean, technically we could go pretty big. Bigger than 5.
If you want to get on that call, get on the call. No obligation to get on the call. Obviously, even though you do watch Risk On. S&P doubles from its pandemic bottoms, making it the fastest bull market rally since World War II. Dow up 110, don't know why. S&P up 11, don't know why. Nasdaq down 29, I know why. Russell down 1%, I know why. VIX up a little bit, I don't know why. News out today that Michael Burry, he bought some puts on the Cathie Wood Innovation Fund. So he's a negative player there in what's going on with Cathie Woods. What do you think about crypto right now, Joe?
I think crypto is driving the market, honestly.
Do you?
Look, there's just some gigantic news in crypto right now. Samsung, the banks, Korea right now is running an actual trial on their bank cryptocurrency through the Samsung platform, but only in South Korea. Microsoft Computing has a blockchain initiative now to bolster they're going to incentivize people to keep information private through the blockchain. But the biggest one is Walmart just posted a job for a person to be in charge of all their crypto initiatives, including investment in crypto.
You got Bitcoin at right now, presently at 45,805.
Yep.
Is doing really well. I don't really quote all the other DeFi stuff, but
You should be quoting Ethereum.
no, I'm a fan of Ethereum, as you know. For full disclosure, we are long Bitcoin at All Global Holdings, and I'm long personally. Yeah, Ethereum is 31.50. I'm impressed. I am. Both of
Sala
them.
makes me sad, man.
What does?
Sala.
What's
Coin.
Sala?
It's one of the NFT platforms. Back in, 2019, you probably could have bought it for pennies on the dollar. It's up to 60, and it's being driven by NFTs. And you know my feelings on those.
No, I don't actually. Why don't you share them? What are your feelings on NFTs?
I think from a perspective of, are NFTs valuable? I believe they are. Are they valuable for art, trading cards, and all that other stuff? I don't believe for a second it's like a pipe dream, man. I mean, some of the art that gets sold, you have no rights to the art. You own the art, but you can't remove the art. I mean, the Louvre technically could put up, one of their most famous, paintings and NFT it, but they can write in the NFT contract that they get to keep the art. You don't have any rights to the art. You can resell that NFT. So really, you're not buying what you're buying. You're buying a token, because that token then changes to another token when that piece is sold. And a lot
you're
of it's
buying
not
a digital
physical.
right to the digital art part, right?
Right. And I mean, I believe in the digital rights management part. I just don't believe it's being used properly right now.
Yep. Can we go to the chart real quick I have on my screen? Tesla. So I wouldn't normally point this out. There's an investigation pending. Tesla got hit today, only for 4 and some change percent, but I kind of look at this. Tesla, spiked back up above 700, but year to date, it continues to sort of remain below that high level in the beginning of February and March. And if you start looking at the small cap stocks, which I'm paying close attention to because that's my space, you see a lot of small cap names really capped out in March, and they've been a little progressively getting more depressive along the way. Kind of lower highs and lower lows. So small cap doesn't look good to me, and it hasn't looked good for a while. We talked about this 2 months ago when I said July and August should be tough. It is actually, when you know a train wreck's going to happen, and I'm part of the train wreck, I'm down a lot in small cap. So not exactly excited about that.
On that Tesla
I bought
thing,
more naked this morning. Literally, I think they're just kind of giving it to me now at this point. It is,
so 51 is what I saw.
51 and some change. So trying to get my cost down on naked brands. Let me tell you where I'm at right here. In this account, I'm at 56.98. Wow, there's some even naked right now offered. I'm going to put a bid in at 51. So there are people selling it for sure. I saw that. I guess we got to be. He's the son of the CEO said we should be a little patient. I'm patient, man. But it does appear to be under continued selling pressure. Not from me, I may add. I'm a buyer. Don't quite get.
You think people are getting disillusioned with it? I know the Naked Army's here, but I mean,
No.
there were a lot of big things out there. They got a lot of cash.
No,
on
I
hand.
think that they are not disillusioned. I think that just in the dogs of summer, If you own a little bit and you want to sell something, you just sell it. I mean, that's when you got 700 million shares outstanding. You have a lot of people that could sell it.
Back to your Tesla thing. I'm just curious. Do you think that drop, because that drop happened right about when Elon came out and said, "Yeah, I think we're overpriced." I mean, do you think he really screwed himself there? I mean, I get that.
Well,
it's
it does
moving.
look like it filled a pretty big gap if you look at the chart between April. Well, see, it's still making. I have to look at the chart, but it is. Let me pull this down here. Year to date, the stock is down 5.97% year to date. The 1 year obviously still stellar, up 86.9%, and of course the 5 years up 1,400. If you go to the 6 month, it's down 14% at the last 6 months. So year to date, you're down 5.97. You go to the 1 month, it's up 6%. Go to the last 5 days, it's down 3.9. It seems like it's trending down to me. Burry short that too with your puts. Anyways, so I'm a little weirded out by, it's not a lot of pricing, but Naked's like, I guess just because it's low price, it's a lot more volatile. But it looks like they want to print below 50. So I'm in a position, if they print Naked below 50, I'm going to buy more, right?
Nice.
I put a bid in just now for 59.01. I continue to accumulate that. This is a really weird time. I think and by the way, we're talking, this is a show about risk. This is Risk On, right? This is really the primary show. I know we get a little diverted with my ADD a little bit, but from a risk perspective, I can't help but have Afghanistan on my mind. Because really, 20 years later, the Taliban's back in charge, and it's the catastrophic event in some global area that we don't know what could happen here.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Now, from DPW's perspective, we are a defense company. We own like a lot of defense businesses.
Right.
I mean, I think Gresham has 4 or 5 inside them, and then DPW, Coolis's has 1 inside of it through Digital Power. But I don't want to get wealthier on the idea that we have to defend the world. I would prefer,
Right.
There'd be a bunch of scenarios where if you didn't need biotech and pharma because all diseases were cured and all war was cured, would be great. I think we love to go into another business, but the Afghanistan situation, and this is one of the reasons I wish Jason was here, because I think he'd have something to say about it. Although I suspect he'd blame it on everyone but Trump.
I could tell you what he'd say,
but that's okay, because he has a valid point of view. He's very smart. But my concern is that you have a generation of women in Afghanistan that have learned to be able to go to school unafraid, safe, and in a safe environment, or at least safer than it was. Not safe, and all of a sudden, no longer going to school. All that's going to be canceled. Women's rights are going to, the progress they've been making on women's rights. The Taliban are going to be back in charge, which means a lot of bad things for Afghanistan.
I mean,
and a haven for the Middle East. And we're going to kind of watch it happen here.
Yeah, you saw that people, I mean, this is how bad it is there. Look, I already know what Jason would say. I mean, we let that go. It was horrible, and specifically one person let it go, and I won't get into the politics.
Who let it go, Trump?
No, Biden let it go, man. Pulling the whole thing out, we gave up a U.S. base with U.S. prisoners on it. They just took that over, freed all the prisoners that we had on that U.S. base.
So I apologize, but I thought Trump negotiated a settlement with them, and then but you're saying Biden pulled the rest out.
He did, but on the U.S. base, the settlement was that we were going to stay there and we were going to take care of Biden pulled the rest out, and Biden remained silent on this whole thing. Like, oops, not my fault. But
it said here Biden is talking live about Afghanistan right now.
He probably is.
It's good to be the king saying that.
But here's the thing. You can see how fearful these people in Afghanistan are. I mean, you saw the video of the people clinging to the plane and basically plunging to their deaths because the plane was taking off. The U.S. plane was leaving. I mean, I'm not going to show that. Not even a little bit. It's horrible. People can go look that up by themselves. But There is definitely people who clung to their plane and plunged to their deaths.
So we basically, regardless of the circumstances, have abandoned Afghanistan.
Correct.
And we've listen, my days in the military were very unique, and I would argue that I wasn't really even in the military because I was in the inactive reserve because the first Gulf War lasted 3 days. So they didn't really need me. I was in one of those. I went in '89, so I went in one of those periods of time where they didn't really kind of need me.
Right.
You know, where with troop reduction, Berlin Wall was coming down. It wasn't until Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait that all of a sudden we were back up again,
Yep.
and then we were quickly back down again.
Correct.
So I didn't do anything. I know you served in the military. Obviously, I always say thank you for your service.
Thank you.
I would never say to anybody, don't thank me for my service. I didn't do anything. But I do support the troops in a big way. I come from a family of Air Force personnel.
Yep.
Will Horn, our CEO, was in the Marine Corps.
Yep, he was.
And he's always a Marine. And he said that he got to invade Panama, which was a party.
I knew a couple people there.
Sure. But if you're the military and you spent 20 years and lost a lot of lives in Afghanistan, and you're watching this right now,
I got a lot of friends who are pissed off right now.
this is not. No,
tell you.
I can't speak for them. But if you're in the audience and you're in the military, or you've been in the military and you served in Afghanistan, I would like you to text 714-949-1831, our text number. Josh, can we make sure we put that up? Brett and Nick. I want to make sure that you text us because I'd love to have you on the show tomorrow. I want to cover this with someone in the military or who's been in Afghanistan or who believes that you have a unique perspective on Afghanistan that I don't have. And so I would greatly appreciate it if you, had any details on this that we could cover tomorrow. If Jason's feeling up to it, I might even have him call in.
This is just an example, though, of the U.S. military and its might. We pulled the last people out, which was, a little over 1,000 people, right, plus support personnel. And, and it devolves into chaos.
This is Biden today. Biden says Afghanistan war was a lost cause, vows to continue aid and diplomacy. President Biden defending the decision to pull U.S. troops out of Afghanistan on Monday afternoon. His first remarks since the Taliban ousted the Afghan national government on Sunday. Despite vastly outnumbered by Afghan military, which has long been assisted by the U.S. and NATO coalition forces, the Taliban entered Kabul and seized the presidential palace. In April, Biden ordered the Pentagon to withdraw troops from Afghanistan by September 11th. A decision he said was in lockstep with the NATO coalition forces. Since the withdrawal of the U.S., the Taliban has carried out a succession of shocking battlefield gains.
He can lie.
I gotta say this, man. I am for who is my president, but I don't have any idea how anybody who is on the side of right, and I'm specifically speaking to the left here, can have a conscience right now. I don't know how you can do it. You're putting literally hundreds of thousands of women in danger by a decision for us to bail on something we started. We started it. This country started this. We went in there, and we tried to root out evil because of the fact that they were terrorists, and we abandoned them after we ravaged their country to protect ourselves, and we've abandoned them. I wish there was a different story, and I'm open to my mind being changed. But I have 2 daughters. I have a niece who works here. Skyla, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
And I would tell you, I would be defending everyone with my AR-15 and my 2 guns if they were coming after my daughters or my niece. And that's what they're doing there. And so Joe Biden,
yeah, I mean,
I don't know how you deal with yourself, dude.
Here's the thing: they're going to put it all on Trump because he did negotiate the peace deal with them, But the minute these people reneged on the peace deal, but this is the same
It
administration.
doesn't make any sense.
Right,
If they renege on the peace deal, you renege on your deal.
Right.
We didn't say the Taliban get to take over and kill everyone.
Well, no. This is the same president who was vice president when Iran reneged, and we still gave him $4 billion and said, here you go. And look, I don't have much politics in it. I look at the people, and the people are terrified. I mean,
it's really sad. And I don't mean to bring down the whole thing. So with that in mind, we're going to move on from the disaster that is. Anyways. So what's the deal with my YouTube channel? Did you see that thing where they said I didn't violate it for playing the joke?
right?
But why did I not violate it? Because I was playing something on YouTube? I don't quite get it.
Correct.
So I'm allowed to play something on YouTube?
Yeah, technically.
So since I was playing a YouTube thing and not shut, I mean, why did I get violated than non-violated on Nail Salon?
Well, it was just a copyrighted content violation, really, is what it came down to. I mean, they violated you for putting it on, but then they quickly realized that it was already on YouTube and it was on one of their channels that they allowed. So they can't violate you for putting something on YouTube that they're allowing to be on YouTube. It's just a check. It's an error check.
Okay, got it. Right.
I mean, they do lots of those checks about all kinds of stuff, man.
So deep in the program, are we allowed to have a joke that has the F word in it or not?
You can, as long as we're marked as adult content.
Okay, Josh, are we marked as adult content?
If we have
We
it,
can. We can mark this one as adult.
it means it.
Okay, well, I don't have to tell a dirty joke. But speaking of jokes, Skyla, take it away.
I thought did you know you can hear the blood in your veins? You just have to listen very closely.
Oh my God.
That's a dad joke.
Dun dun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
Did you know you can hear the blood in your veins? You just have to listen very closely.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. That's a dad joke.
It's
It
such
is
a dad
such a
joke,
dad
man.
joke. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep seeing people saying that DPW has $250 million of assets. That was a goal. We do, and I will talk about this on the call today. But you have to think about whether the assets will be productive, right? Whether you can get a 10% return from that $250 million, a 5% return, a 20% return. I think Buffett says he likes to have a 15% after-tax return on the assets that are out there.
Right.
And that'll be the question. And today on that conference call, we'll be looking at some of the assets we have and their maturity level. Like Alzaman that went public, what else do we have in the potential pipeline? I use the word potential. I want to be clear with you guys. I have to use all these very key looking forward words because you never can tell what the market, you never can tell what happened. But we have developed a very, in my opinion, a nice potential portfolio for other IPOs and things that are happening that could strengthen DPW's balance sheet over time, all globals.
I'd probably share that opinion.
Yeah, and so we're strangely in a weird position because we're the happiest we've ever been with the company.
Oh, yeah.
So it's strange that sometimes the stock, Buffett talks about, sometimes the stock disintermediates from the company.
That's a
right?
big word.
Disintermediates?
Yeah.
This throat's swollen too here.
Good thing you'll be going to the doctor soon.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you should have got that checked out a long time ago.
Well,
Look,
Yeah.
not everything with COVID is a conspiracy.
you mean the chip in my head isn't sending Bill Gates
Right.
what I'm thinking?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Bill Gates, I'm thinking you should buy stock in DPW. Maybe that'll
That
get
would be
into his
awesome.
chip.
I mean, look, there's some big boys there. So
Yeah, I know. I've noticed today, like J.P. Morgan is an owner. Deutsche Bank bought some.
Yep.
Vanguard bought some, apparently.
Yeah, it's because you're hitting the right matrix, man.
Yeah, what you mean those small cap mutual funds?
Yep.
Someone asked me, where's the catch with DPW? I don't know. I'm a buyer. I bought more today. I buy all the time. How's the stock so cheap market cap wise? Maybe they don't like me. That could be possible. Sometimes Sometimes there's a negative premium on the guy running the whole show, right?
I don't know if that's
No,
the
it
case.
happens occasionally. You cannot like somebody. The market could not. I don't know.
Or they could be shorting it, and I hope they all get crushed.
But what's the point of that? What would be the point of shorting it at this point? We have plenty of cash. It's not like we're not in a position to be around for a long time now.
Because they can,
Just because they can.
right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a
Vanguard bought 2.23 million shares.
habit. I know, that's nice.
It's nice. Stock traded 10 million shares today.
Yep,
I was impressed with that.
I am too. I'm just surprised it didn't move more.
Me too. Me too. Hey, that kind of thing happens, right?
It does all the time. We've never been. I don't think we've ever been right. I think I was right one time.
Were you?
I think one time I was right.
Really?
Yep. Remember? I said it was.
So are you
going
going to be right on crypto? Because
I'm pretty sure.
we reported today that those old miners brought in some crypto for us. We're actually, the numbers are increasing for crypto for us.
They are.
But what do you think about the general concept of what's happening with the hash rate? Because the Chinese are shutting it down. Is that hash rate going to pick back up? Has it picked back up at all? Do you know where it is?
It's up slightly. I mean, I can pull up the chart, but it's a massive drop. Almost half the network came off.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, I'll show you. Hang on. Let me get to the page, and then I'll have them pull up my screen.
This person, listen to how he reads this question. Let me read it here. Serious question, Todd. Do you feel like your reckless buying of stocks is hurting investor confidence? My reckless buying? My reckless buying of stocks has generated millions in profits for the year. So I'll take reckless over non-reckless every day then, if that's the case. Really? Is that really a question? Hurting investor confidence, my reckless buying of stocks? No, actually what I feel like is if you don't want to be in a company that's a holding company that does what I'm doing, you simply don't have to be a shareholder. That's the beauty of America is unlike Russia, you don't have to buy anything if you don't want to. So no, I don't think my buying of stocks, the trading that I do along with my team has hurt us in any way. In fact, I would argue that we help pay the bills, given that it is the most profitable part of our business, Ault Alliance, the lender. So we lend to public companies, and they give us warrants in those companies, and they give us usually a discount or something to alleviate the risk. And we have a lot of warrants in other public companies because of it. So I don't think it's so reckless. Gotcha.
Oh, you guys want to pull up that chart?
Yeah, let's do that. Buying, wow.
Right. So you'll see there that it goes up and up and up, and it got all the way up to 25.
25 what?
Basically, it's not terahashes. It's
Guadahash
teraflops, right?
Right.
So really, the network's somewhere in the high end of 13 or 14 exahashes, or it was. But difficulties counted a bit different. So you can notice up here, right in June of 2021, when everything happened, basically started coming off May. Nobody had any idea, and it started to come off a cliff, and then a real cliff, and then the Chinese government basically said, well, if you're involved in cryptocurrency, if you're involved in any way of facilitating cryptocurrency, boom. And so this would happen to the network. Everything in mainland China came offline. And then it really started to dip, right? We can go closer to the I think it's the 3 months. So this is what the 3 month looks like, right? And you got all the way down to almost right here, 13, right? So it halved the network. And now you asked if it's coming back up. It's coming back up a little bit,
yeah.
But that's because we're buying the machines. They're selling them. They're going away. Now, that being said, there are rumors that Kazakhstan has basically said, well, we have a crap ton of power. We'll give it to you. Just move your miners here.
I don't think those are rumors. I think that's actually happening. I wouldn't have to validate that. I was told that a bunch of people are moving to Kazakhstan.
I don't disagree, but I don't know how they get out of mainland China, the big mainland farmers, or like the one in Malaysia, which was crazy. The government seized 100,000 miners. Now think about this: 100,000 miners, based value about $5,000 to $6,000 per miner, and they steamrolled them. They took an
No, I saw
actual
that. Yeah, they steamrolled them,
and
flattened
steamrolled.
them, right?
So you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars down the drain. I mean, these people were illegally using electricity. They are in China too. So I don't know how that whole network gets out of China.
It appears to me that you're going to see a continual migration of crypto mining to the U.S. with this sort of validation that the U.S. wants to tax it. Ironically, the validation of taxation makes it more credible.
Well, and we also have some very, very low power rates, so they're okay being taxed. I mean, when you get down to 2 cents a power, I agree that taxation makes it more credible, but I also think that people adopting it, the big companies, I mean, the really big companies adopting it, that's going to change the world.
For a risk-on moment for us, we're kind of long crypto. We haven't sold any of our Bitcoin. We continue to add to it. And I know we announced back in February we're continuing to ramp crypto mining for us. So we're excited to be part of it. Buying that data center was critically important to us.
It was.
And you can see that on our balance sheet, what we paid for it, right? $3.9 million. I think we put more in upgrading it than we did pay for it.
We did.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about that part too. I'm a little sanguine on the market. It feels like that Middle East thing is going to create an event where you wake up one day and boom, market's whammied, kind of resets everyone a little bit, and then we kind of go from here.
We agree because the world's upset about this whole thing, and I'm very worried.
Yeah, they're worried for sure. You're gonna create a nation state which is kind of next to Pakistan, which they have nuclear weapons. This is not an ideal situation at all. I don't know how to handicap this.
And remember, we walked out of there and left them a lot of equipment.
That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, just so I don't act like a jerk about that comment about my recklessness, because he's taking a shot at me. That recklessness led us to a balance sheet that has, I don't know. Well, just read the numbers. You'll see how reckless I'm being. I'm quite confident in our board, which is independent, and our CEO, which is my business partner, but is not a rubber stamp, and the president, who is our general counsel. I'm confident that we have a measured approach to taking stocks into our portfolio. And I believe we were up, if you forget even the Alzaman transaction, I believe we were up for the year, like something in the neighborhood of $18 million trading. I think it was 18 million. But that reckless 18 million, shame on you, Todd.
Look.
Hey, stocks go down. I could be down this quarter. It could be down. If I could get back $9 million, $4 million, you never know. Stocks go up or down.
I know. I'd still like you to keep what you're doing.
Yeah, I've only done it a while, 32 years. A lot of activist deals. I've done a lot of 13Ds in my lifetime. Should actually check my public record, because the 13Ds show me buying and selling. Haven't been very many losses in the activist category. But I don't usually toot that horn because it sounds ridiculous. But I appreciate that. Hey, Skyla, what did you do for the weekend? I saw some beautiful surf there.
Yeah.
You went back to California, right?
I did. We were in Dana Point. It was right on the beach, the house we were staying at. It was beautiful. But I guess like they built something out, like the what is it called?
Is it called a pier?
Yeah, a pier. And now it's making the waves go up. Like there used to be a bunch of beach, and now the waves are like hitting the
Did they put
houses.
in a pier or a jetty?
I don't know. One of the two.
Is it rocks or is it wood?
I don't know, because I didn't see it.
So disappointing.
I just knew that there's a problem with the waves, and the waves are getting too close to the houses now and like making it erode. But it was beautiful, and we played a bunch of
Cornhole?
cornhole. How
There
did
you
you
go.
know that?
Huh?
How did you know that?
Well, I was on the fence, beer pong or cornhole. Since you're
Yeah,
not,
we played a
not
bunch of
21, I was on
Cornhole. Yeah, by the way, it's good to be the king. We are long
Yeah.
the Northern Dynasty still, for sure.
Why is it called cornhole? I have no idea.
No, I haven't like. Yeah.
Did you
I
guys
didn't
know? I was watching on ESPN the other day. There's cornhole championships,
Yeah.
and these
these
people
are
are so
actually-
good,
They
dude.
It's like darts.
And they can move the bag around. I was like, is this really a sport? And I was really impressed.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I
I was
was
like-
in high school who did it competitively.
I didn't know you could. I mean, I guess everything's competitively. If you wanted to race cockroaches, you could
maybe it'll
you do
be
it in a competitive manner.
Look, if curling's an Olympic sport, maybe cornhole makes it.
Well, maybe the bags used to be filled with cornhole. I don't know. I don't know why they would call it.
Could you
cornhole.
imagine a one-time dividend from DPW? Well, the interesting thing about a dividend from DPW, if there ever were going to be one, is that since I'm one of the largest shareholders, I'd be receiving it. So there might be a motivation to do that someday. You never know. You never know when you're building a balance sheet what you could do in the future. Hey, Skyla, could you get Randy for us? We're going to wrap it up because we have a conference call going.
Sure
and
can.
Our friend Nick, Brett, sorry, not Nick. Our friend Brett suggested that we have to call it early because you got to get ready for that conference call. You got to do all that digital connection to have all those people on the call.
By the way, as she's walking out, I'm going to say she's a genius.
Why are you a genius?
Because corn was in the bags that you put into the hole. That's why it's called cornhole.
Oh, is that why?
Yep.
Is that really?
Did you just
I
look it up?
just looked it up.
I just thought.
No, he.
Why else would it be called cornhole?
Yeah.
I don't know. Throw the corn in the hole.
Exactly.
Right. I didn't realize that. Yeah, there you go.
I don't get it, man. Are we going to talk about racing?
Can
mean,
you
we
go
could
real
talk about
quickly to me to the screen here?
I think we should talk about how the
Intelligence.
Angels-
Just go to the screen real quick for me. My screen. Intelligence failure. Oh, come on, man. Let me get rid of this here. Intelligent failure of the highest order. How Afghanistan fell to the Taliban so quickly. Yeah. $2 trillion spent.
Yep.
More than 6,000 lives cost and 100,000 Afghans killed. $2 trillion spent. The speed of the Taliban taking over Afghanistan was shocking. U.S. officials called reportedly Afghanistan capital. Kabul fell in 90 days. It took less than 10. Among the key causes, analysts say, are intelligent failures, most powerful Taliban, corruption, money, culture of differences, and willpower. Yikes. Randy, I watched a NASCAR race, which was a abomination.
Was that a race or a demolition derby?
I don't know. You know, in the olden days where they used to have all in, like you went to the fairground and
Yeah.
all the cars would just run into each other.
Demolition
Yeah.
Derby.
Demolition Derby. Is that what you just said?
That's what I said, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
I actually turned it off at the end because I'm thinking to myself, they're going to call it for Denny Hamlin. But apparently, after another accident, they didn't call it for Denny Hamlin. What happened in that debacle where A.J. Allmendinger won the race?
What happened was just pathetic. I mean, you know, you got the announcers on there talking about they need to change the track, and they're not going to modify the track just for NASCAR. You know, it was supposed to be this big celebrated crossover weekend. You know, it was IndyCar and NASCAR racing on the same weekend on the Indianapolis road course. It's a bad idea. You know, I understand from a financial perspective maybe, or from Penske's eyes, why he would want to do something like this, but those NASCAR, you know, those cars can't race on that kind of track. That's not built for NASCAR. It was barely even good enough for Formula One. It's too narrow. You know, it's a single file track for the most part, and you got four of these NASCAR guys trying to squeeze in a chicane and take each other out lap after lap. And in fact, there's a driver they interviewed at the end of the race, and he even admitted, Austin Dillon, I think was his name, and he was even saying that there's nothing to do with the track. These drivers need to use their heads. You know,
Austin Dillon, by the way, the ex-boyfriend of Danica Patrick.
is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch the
No,
race.
that's
Is it more than
Ricky.
just going
That's
left?
Ricky Stankhouse. That's Ricky Stankhouse.
No,
Jr.
she dated Austin Dillon for some time, I believe.
I
but
don't know
doesn't,
about
we'll
that.
Get, doesn't matter. Does
Yeah,
it
it
really
doesn't
matter?
matter.
Who cares?
What matters? I do. What matters is that it was a road course, and it was the first road course for NASCAR at the Indianapolis 500. So they race into the infield, and it's a really unique track. I know that Randy and I saw F1 there 20 years ago, 20 plus years ago, whenever
Yeah.
that was.
Right.
The U.S. Grand Prix before it went to Houston. And they raced Indy cars there. Obviously, the Indianapolis 500, the main race, and then, of course, they have a road course.
Right.
Roger Penske bought it. Obviously, he wants to make it more profitable. But there was one turn at the end. If you haven't seen it, like cars were launching off speed bumps at 150 miles. It didn't make any sense. It was,
Yeah.
people could have gotten killed.
Didn't VK win the road course or something like that, right?
Earlier
In Indy?
in the month of May when they first had the first one, and this is what I like as well. It's like the IndyCar calendar. you could have so many other races. They don't race at Pocono anymore. They used to race. It's an awesome track. Next to Indianapolis, that's the most awesome IndyCar track there is. They don't race there. They don't race at Milwaukee anymore. They don't race in Kentucky. But you got 2 road course races at Indianapolis. Last year, they had 3 because of the pandemic. I understood kind of last year why you had to do it. But you don't need to do this. I mean, you already raced the road course this year. You don't need to do it again. If you want to let NASCAR do it, fine. But
Hold on a second. Hold on. Vince, I have no problem with your question, my friend. You have the right to question me all the time. I got no problem. But you categorize my behavior as reckless. You don't work here. You don't know what my behavior is like. You don't know the policies and procedures we have in place. All I'm saying, Vince, is your question was, you called it reckless, and I just disagree with you. But your question's fine. I'll answer all your questions all the time. Don't worry about that, Vince. And you're welcome to be here, and we can have a debate all day long about that kind of thing. I don't take it personally, and hopefully you didn't take it personally with my response either. Anyways, back to Randy. So what else is going on?
Well, the IndyCar race was a little better on Saturday. Will Power won, unfortunately. Pato O'Ward took pole, but then something happened. He was leading the beginning of the race, and when he came in for his first pit stop, he switched. And this is what I don't like about IndyCar either. These tire regulations. You got to use the soft tire. You got to use the hard tire. It used to be 1 tire for IndyCar. Everybody got the same tire. You use that tire. If you have to come in and change for a new set, that's fine. Now you got the soft red tires and the hard, standard tire.
To me, this is just as stupid as NASCAR doing these competition yellows, where if
Yeah.
someone's winning the race,
Right.
they're all circling and someone's way ahead. Let's stop everything for a competition yellow.
Yeah, that
You guys make the race about racing.
right. It's ridiculous.
Why not let the drivers decide and the teams decide what tires they use for their cars?
Right.
Give them 2 sets of tires and say you can use any one you want.
Right, exactly.
Why regulate behavior?
It is. It's,
And that's what they're like, soon they're going to be only lesbian drivers can win on a Sunday. And they're going to say you need the equivalent of like LGBTQ. Make sure there's a certain number of people that are gay that are driving, that are straight, that's transgender. I don't have any problem with that at all.
Mhm.
But you're regulating who the best drivers are.
It's in
Yeah.
every sport. It is.
You're regulating who the best drivers are. You're regulating how the competition takes place because you say you got to use the 2 different tires. Come on, man.
right,
Really?
and especially the red tires, they die after like 10 laps.
Right.
So you can only get 10 laps out of those, and then you got to change, and so
By the way, just to point out something to you guys, I'm referring to the new SEC rule that they cleared the Nasdaq to be able to say that you had to have a certain number of gay people or people who identify as a different person. So I had to fill out a board questionnaire to ask who I identified as. You guys, really? If 20 years ago, if I would have asked if you were gay to get a job with me, I would be sued to high heaven.
Wait, but isn't that the
It's not the same thing. We have to have board members that are a certain number that are gay, a certain number that are black, or identify as a transgender. I have no problem with any of that. If you want to be identified a different way, but now it's okay for me to ask questions that a couple years ago I would have gotten sued for.
We agree. It's
It's
kind
like
of weird.
I can't even go up or down here. I don't even get it.
Are you sure you still can't be sued for those questions if you're asking the
I don't
wrong
know.
person the
I
wrong
don't know, but the
question?
rules are that by 2023 we got to have a certain eclectic mix of board members. Now, by the way, I get the premise of it is you want a more diversified board. I'm all for it. I get what they're trying to accomplish. The means of accomplishing it is strange.
I agree.
I don't have a problem with it.
I
In fact,
agree.
oh yeah, we got to wrap it up.
I disagree, actually.
Yeah. Hey, it doesn't matter. It's an interesting day here for the troops in Afghanistan, those people that are getting people out. Good luck to you. We're with you. Randy, appreciate your day being with us. Guys, we'll see you on the conference call. It's a really weird mix. Joe's going to be hanging out with me for a while.
I'll be here all
We'll
week.
talk crypto. Nick, Brett, Skyla. Hope everyone's well. Have a good Monday. We'll see you on the conference call at 2:30 for Ault Global. Symbols DPW. We're going to be talking about that balance sheet and all that reckless behavior that Vince thinks I have. You guys take care. Bye-bye.